Good afternoon, teacher and classmates. I'm going to talk about the 4-class plan, that is the topic Write a Summary. In this case, we are going to work with the students of first year of the high school. We are going to be focused on the listening, speaking, and reading and writing skills objectives. So we have the listening objective that we have is the students will be able to identify the parts of a good summary in an oral expression of other person. In the speaking, they will be able to create a simple summary while they are speaking and identify the important parts that they need to know. In the reading, they will be able to read and identify what is a summary and what is not a summary. And in the writing, they will be able to write a good summary with all the parts and using the most important characteristics that they need to know. So first, we are going to mention the methodology and the strategies. We have the methodology. We are going to use the communicative language learning, audiolingual method, ERCA method, active method, didactic method, and also in this case we are going to use Realia. Some strategies that we are going to use is a whole class work, pair groups, using game to consolidate their knowledge, and also using the dramatizations. So in the anticipatory set, we are going to begin with a simple warm-up, that is to make them to play tic-tac-toe, where they are going to give a ball, and the ones that have the ball is the person that is going to answer a simple question about the last topic. As you know, the last topic that we are talking about is about the history of our planet, so we are going to ask them to give us an important event that passed in our history. If they give us this correct, we are going to be able to give this person an extra point. This motivates the students and make the interest and catch the attention of them. So we begin here with the main teaching input. And as you know, we work here with the ERCA method. So we begin with the experience and with the reflection. As you know, writing a good summary sometimes can be difficult, and we need to make the students recognize the difference of writing a summary, an essay, or a simple paragraph, and when we use each of them. So we begin giving us the experience on what is a summary, what they understand, that what topics take this summary, and how they write this, what parts of the summary they think are. In this case, we are going to be able to give ideas and correct them if it's necessary, because we are not to let them to say everything and maybe get bad ideas or incorrect ideas, and the students will to stay with that idea. So we are going to use that and how they respond to these questions about what they think that is a summary and what parts are. We can know how to guide and how to introduce the new topic, that is write a summary. So in the reflection, we are going to begin trying to do a summary of a simple movie that all the people watched, that is Titanic. In this case, we say, what about the principal characters and the epoch and the years, and what happened, what happened? So with all of these questions, we begin to write in the board, and then we say how you can make a summary with all this information. I give an example. So we begin giving them first an example where we say this movie talk about two person that fall in love, and we begin with that and make them to understand what is a summary, to make a resume of what they read, what they watch, but with some important facts that they need to have in a summary, and feeling the grammar and the structure that have a summary. At the end of this, we are going to use our first supplementary material, and here we have a poster. We make a poster and we put some questions as who are the characters, when happened this story, where happened, with different questions, and put some post-its. So we begin reading the first chapter of a book, In this case, we are going to use the Secret Garden book. And when we end to read the chapter, we are going to make the students, the ones that want, or if we don't have the attention of all the students, we are going to divide in lines and making one student on each line pass to the board, and the ones that make correct, they will have an extra point to each line. So we began making them to answer each question that they wanted. In this case, who is the character? And we say that the Secret Garden is talking about the little girl Anne. They is writing in a little post-it the name Anne. And they say that the other character is their uncle. So we say, okay, we're going to put the uncle. When we have all this information with the help of the students, we are going to make the application with a guide practice. So in this case, we make them to try to make a summary with all this information. But the difference here is that they will not work alone. They will work as a whole class. So we are going to let all the students pass in order, but giving only a little part of the summary. As I say, the first student come to the board and said, this story talk about, and stop them, and the other students pass and say about a little girl called Anne. And all the class try to make the summary, and this need to have sense. At the end, with the help of the teacher and also the help of the students, we are going to correct some mistakes, grammar mistakes, connectors, and we are going to make a summary with the help of all of the class. This is going to help them to understand better how to do it and try to also work collaborative with other partners. So, in the independent practice, we are going to read another chapter of other book, in this case Pride and Prejudice. We decide to use this book because they are already students that know a lot of grammar structures, and we want to try to make them to understand more. So in this case, we read it and give them a worksheet that is uploaded in the supplementary materials at the end of this video, and they have the things that have in the poster that we do with all the class. They have to do alone, and in this case, if they need help and they think that can work in pairs, we are going to let them to work in pairs, give this permission. So we read the first chapter and let them to try to make the important things, to catch the important things and put in their worksheets. As an assessment, we are going to let them to write with their partners a simple summary talking about the first chapter of this book. We are going to let some students and some groups pass and expose what they write, and looking if they are doing good writing a summary. Finally, as a closing review, we are going to use in this case to let them to watch every movie that they wanted, or read one chapter of a book and make a summary. In this case, we let the students to decide what they like to do, because some students like to watch movies and others like to read books, and let them this as a free manner. So in this case, they are going to watch a movie, read the first paragraph, and if they already read a book, they can make a summary of that book. But the extra thing that they need to do is to make to try to catch the attention of the people in a way that I wanted to see that movie or I wanted to read that book. So this is going to be as a homework that they're going to bring in the next class. So as you see, we use simple supplementary materials, as you saw our sheet, and in the first pass use the poster. But how we work with that materials was the clue to make the students to understand better, and also use with movies and books that they already in one moment read it, and let them to make their own composition. They have to make them their own critical learning. So at the end of this is all, and at the end of the video will be attached the supplementary activities. This is everything, and thank you for watching.